All right, looks like we are live. Thanks for joining us at the Upekkha Value SaaS Live. This is a space where we talk to founders who are on the value SaaS journey or on the journey of capital efficient growth, which puts greater control in the hands of the founders. I'm Malvika from Upekkha. Upekkha is an accelerator and an early stage fund. And we help founders build global SaaS businesses capital efficiently. And with me, I have Shubhra and Rohit from GaragePlug. They're the co founders. And GaragePlug is a cloud platform for the automotive service industry. So, Shubhra and Rohit, it's great to have you with us. Welcome.
Hi,
Thank
hi,
you.
hi
Hi.
everyone.
Hi.
Thank you.
Right. So, right off the top, right, what's keeping you up at night these days?
So Rohit can tell. He's awake. I am always sleeping.
So, so if you ask me in the recent 1 week, it's the house shifting.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but otherwise, typically it would be either debugging some of the customer related issues or probably some of the releases, which we would probably try to do it at the times which nobody is using the system and to keep the downtime minimum. So
All right. So I think before we move on, I want to tell the audience that we're going to be talking about GaragePlug's incredible journey, but we'll be more focused on their recent shift from SMB to Enterprise SaaS, which is a move that they made, started towards a year ago. And we will be taking questions at the end of the session. So if you have a question, just put it in the comments and we'll pick it up towards the end, right? So I think my first question is you guys started in 2017. You were largely India focused, and within that, you were only SMB focused. And your first big shift was going global, right? What had been the journey thus far, and what triggered that shift to global?
Okay. So yeah, so definitely like other SaaS companies, we started with India market around 2017, and that point in time we were having very tiny product, very small product, and the moment we launched the product, within a month we started getting downloads and some of the paid customers also, and it looks like people were waiting for this kind of a product, and that gave us give confidence. Okay, yeah, this is something people like, and we were not doing any marketing, no SEO, nothing. People would have searched in 10th page of the Google, downloaded, and somehow came on board. And once we got initial traction, we became super busy acquiring customers, and within a short span of time we acquired hundreds of customers from India market, for the simple reason the product was something people were liking. It was super easy to use, and this is what the SMB kind of segment, where anybody who's running a small shop, small workshop, he would want to use that kind of a product. So we became busy just acquiring the customer, and somewhere we forgot, okay, yeah, we have to scale. I mean, we need to get good business as well. So this was more of an India journey, and after some time we realized that we are not heading anywhere with this kind of a ticket size, because the initial phase, when the product is getting built, it was just the minimum viable product, and very low ticket size. So soon we started hitting the competition also, where even though we had certain prices, but because of the penetration of GaragePlug, our competitors, they slashed the price. So it became like one fourth of our price, and we were in the more premium category, where the kind of value we were delivering, it is pretty high. So all these things started happening parallelly, and at the same time, definitely we joined Upekkha as well. And this is the funniest thing, where people started laughing on us that you people having such a great product, you're selling in India and you're not going global. So where are, I mean, what is really happening? So that was the time, after a year we thought, okay, yeah, this is not going to work, we're getting stuck here. And with such a beautiful idea and such a great concept, we are not able to take it to global market. So then we decided, okay, let's change the strategy, and we actually built another product for global market, because we had enough learnings. And on our board itself, like Rohit, me, and Ashish is also one of the co-founder. Ashish is coming from the automotive background, so we have a lot of know-how, what kind of best practices needs to be implemented. So with that in mind, we built another version of the product, and that we launched to global market. So again, being a startup, we had again, no idea. Okay, global means what? Which geography, and who is going to buy
It
it?
was Middle East to start with at that time.
Yeah. So it was more of we published the product in for the global, like again, it's a big industry, and each and every country, this kind of a business, after sales business is there. So that point in time, we were not very clear, to be honest, that okay, Middle East is going to be our target market. But luckily, after launching the product within a month, we got some inbound inquiries from Middle East market, for the simple reason there was nothing like this available in that market, and people were searching for such kind of a product, and there was a VAT introduction happened, where it is legally they have to use some kind of a software to generate VAT compatible invoices. So we were at the right time where we got initial inquiries, and over the phone we talked to those people, and we had no channels to give them demo also, because none of the tools were working, like Zoom or
Skype,
so
Skype.
Skype, and Rohit was the one who gave the first demo, half over phone, half over, I don't know, something,
So
maybe
screen on Skype
yeah.
and talking on phone.
Yeah.
Right.
So somehow, in half an hour or maybe 20 minutes, explain the product, and that guy paid then and there, whatever we asked. So he was happy to even pay more. And he was like, I'm amazed, this kind of a thing is available. And and then, couple of more inquiries, and we could close all those deals, with single call. And that gave us confidence that, oh, this is the market where there could be a big need. However, yeah, again, until unless we know much more about that market, we were again not so much clear. But these initial customers, they gave us a lot of confidence that you come here, you look at
Right.
what is the need in this market. And being SMB focused and new global product, we were also like not very clear, okay, should we go to the market for this kind of a thing and do some kind of survey? But these people, our initial customers, they gave us a lot of encouragement, and that's where me and Rohit, we started visiting physically Middle East market.
Right.
So our initial
And
visits, yeah.
what was the product doing at that point? What was it enabling for your clients?
Yeah, so the product was delivering, it's a end to end business platform, which was enabling them to manage the entire operations, also the customer journey. So those kind of things were there, but definitely it was designed for the smaller businesses, not for the enterprise grade, kind of like not very big but medium size businesses. It was enabling them to manage the entire business, customers, and do a lot of things related to marketing as well. So it has inbuilt CRM kind of a thing. So and definitely we built it keeping global market in mind, but we did not build it keeping Middle East in mind. Each geography is very different.
Right.
So our initial customers only gave us some kind of information, okay, you need to build this also, that also. So initial 3-4 months we could easily customize all those things and deliver them. And that's where it was kind of fit for that market. After acquiring first few customers, in 3-4 months we could make it ready for that market.
Right.
Yeah.
And then came your shift from SMB to enterprise, right? A year ago. What
Yes.
led to that?
Okay. So India SMB to Middle East SMB, and while we were pretty happy that we are doing good, and we started with outbound field sales kind of a thing, acquired a couple of customers, few customers, and then we established our inbound sales engine, and then it was going pretty good, like we were acquiring more and more customers, and more of inbound philosophy. But almost, I think 1.5 year or 2 year ago, we started getting more of enterprise inquiries also, where the bigger companies, OEMs, or bigger dealerships, again the big brands, we came across a lot of such inquiries, where we even got the RFPs, RFQs, from these bigger people, and we ourselves were like, oh, can we serve them? Okay,
We were
do
thinking
we
we are
have?
not fit for them.
Yeah, we,
That's what
we
we were
we
thinking.
said, okay, no, 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 we are not fit, and we were like, what should we do? Okay, and those people came to us after evaluating, the first level of evaluation they did from our
Right.
free trial. So what happened, like initially for one or two customers inbound itself, we got the interest, And even though we were not fully confident, but we still we became a little bold, like, okay, let's attempt to solve their problems.
Right.
So that's where we took this one step ahead, even though we were clear that we have to do a lot of changes in the product. Like
Got it.
60% is what it is there, and 40% we have to build the product to next level to fit to their requirements. But we took this step, and then once we did this with 2 customers and we could see their success, even though it took almost 6 to 8 months to do this whole change, making the product enterprise ready, and then making them successful. But this whole thing took some time, and this gave us the confidence, okay, why we have to go behind global SMB? Why not these enterprises who are getting more value? And
Right.
we are able to, we with our competence, our capability, the product know-how, all those things are fitting pretty well. So why don't we make this as our ICP?
And
So
what
this was
prevented you from seeing this enterprise potential earlier on? Why
so
did
as
you
I
go
told,
progressively?
we never
We
thought like
we were seeing only first floor, not the 10th floor. So.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. I mean, I think if you ask to go back and redo things, so yeah, we can
So who are
attempt doing
some of
things.
your biggest enterprise customers today, if you can name them?
So
Not
Rohit, you
sure if
want
we
to?
can. Not sure if we can name them, but yeah, I mean, so one of the largest oil and lube OEMs and the car manufacturers are some of our enterprise customers. And I mean, mm, not sure, Shubhra, if you can name it or not, but yeah, I mean, they are really, 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 the biggest oil and lube manufacturers and the biggest OEM players in auto industry who are
Right.
our customers now.
Okay. And so this move from SMB to enterprise, it requires a monumental mind shift, right? So what were some of the assumptions and the beliefs that you had to let go, and some of the things that you had to embrace on this
Yeah,
journey, on this shift?
yeah. So it is a big change. It's like going from school to college. It's a big change in the thinking itself. So the first thing which is very important to understand now, I can realize that indirectly we have done that. So now I can say that SaaS, software as a service. But when you get into enterprise SaaS, it is really not software as a service, it is software and service. And I heard this, one of the founder telling. So the entire mindset is very much from the product mindset to solution mindset, like giving the solution, solving the problem. So it's a big shift in that kind of a mindset, where when you are giving a solution to a bigger enterprise, it's not just about one product, okay, they are using, or multiple stakeholders using. It is about solving the bigger problem, from the various stakeholders point of view. So there, a lot of things come into picture, the whole value chain comes into picture. So it's a big shift. First thing is accepting that you have to get into this kind of a model where it's like you have to engage tens of stakeholders.
Right.
So this is one way, one thing which you need to accept, that it's not something you can sell in 1 or 2 days, and the product is not going to be always 100% ready. So that is one thing. Other than that, the whole organization point of view, the whole process point of view, everything needs to be changed. And
Right.
that is the big journey, I would say, we have gone through in last 1.5 years, where we kind of change the entire approach to how do we reach out to these people. So the entire organization structure we have changed, the entire sales process we have changed, the lot of changes happened.
Right. So
And
we'll come to sales. I think before that, we'll talk about your ideal customer persona, right? How has that evolved down the line? It's been like a long-winded journey, right?
Yes. So ICP is always evolving for us, when we started, we actually didn't know what is this ICP concept means. So even in Upekkha, when we were used to attend some of the sprints, people, Rajan, Prasanna, they will ask, what is your ICP? We were used to laugh. any workshop is our ICP, man. We have built a workshop management system. Okay, so
Right.
we were not very clear, like, why the hell we have to do this ICP exercise. Now it is very clear, like, we, ICP evolution, the whole thing from India SMB, like, smaller business to medium sized business, and now we are talking about the entire, a big enterprise where, the persona is very different, now, whom we are selling, the kind of value these people want to derive from the product is very different. So
Right.
this whole shift happened as and when, we changed the market, we changed the segment. We ended up doing this ICP exercise again and again, and definitely all these tools like, Wardley map, problem value, metrics, all these things helped us to, define it very clearly, that what is
Right.
the, top three problems we are going to solve, and for whom, and what is the, biggest, let's say, value they are going to get uh, when we solve these problems. So this is journey which happened, as we evolved the product, as we evolved in terms of market and persona also.
Right. And in your recent ICP discovery, how long did that take, or the understanding of your ICP?
So yeah, I mean, soon we realize that, this enterprise is something, we have to target more bigger accounts, and this should be the minimum ACV, and, this is the product set. Now it is not a single, product, it is the set of the things, which we are going to
It's a
deliver.
platform now, basically.
Yeah, now it is kind
Right.
of a platform. So the moment we realized that, we did another ICP exercise. So, and we defined that, like, I think almost 1.5 year back we defined that. Yeah.
All right.
And again, it is evolving still, because if you look at automotive after sales, it's a big chain, and now getting into a niche is, it's very challenging, because we keep getting inquiries from all around, from different value chains. Now it is very difficult to say no to some people, and very difficult to stick to one specific ICP.
So does that mean that the product is growing every day, and then how do you know, okay, when to stop, right? Because the ICP will create greater demands on the product.
Yeah, so that is where, so we have fixed the ICP now,
Okay.
within, let's say, within after sales also, there are so many value chains. There is a, fleet maintenance companies, the oil and lube, there are quick service franchises, there are dealerships, a lot of value chains, and each segment has their unique, problems or
Right.
unique requirements. So now
Right.
we have fixed on, primary and secondary ICP, and our product roadmap, everything is aligned towards that, because we know that, if any dealership comes and we have to, solve their problem, it's not going to be, something off the shelf we can offer them.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's not that we are building product every day, not like that, but definitely we are, for a specific segment, we are adding more and more value.
Got it. Understood. And how has the positioning and your messaging changed with this shift to enterprise? And
So
what
Rohit,
goes into
you
it?
want to take it? Yeah.
Sure, I can take it up. So basically, as Shubhra mentioned, we changed the ICP, right? So changing ICP actually led to a lot of change in overall problem roadmap, right? I mean, so earlier we were solving a set of problems for ICP one, and then the ICP gets evolved further. The problem roadmap for those ICPs actually changed. Now, when that shift happened, or the value we are giving or the messaging we are having would needs to be changed. So for example, like when we moved from independent garages to enterprises, right? The independent garages have different set of needs. Their core need is on managing their overall workshop. So the our core messaging was around managing your operations, managing your day-to-day activities, everything on mobile and something like that. And then when we move to, let's say, enterprise segment, now the problem for enterprise segment is not only workshop management. So workshop management is okay, it's like given that this will be there, but then what they want is they want an excellent customer journey for their entire network of outlets, right?
Right.
And along with that, having things like the right set of analytics, whether do they get all the information in a more effective manner from across their network. If they have hundreds of outlets, how do they do? How do they figure out, which outlets are doing well, which regions are doing well? So overall, messaging now, if we just say, okay, it's a workshop management software, it won't actually, ring their bells that, okay, this is what we need. So
Right.
now the messaging will be completely towards, that how we are transforming the customer journey, how we are helping an enterprise to take the right decisions. And the workshop management becomes, as the base, that okay, this is definitely there, but then overall their problem is to have, like how they can manage their entire network of operations, the entire network, how do they take right decisions, and then whether does it fit well with their overall, at the OEM or the group level ERPs, do we connect back with their systems, whether it is SAP, Oracles of the world, so the integrations and other concepts, so these becomes even, more critical. So that's
Right.
where we changed our messaging to more catering to these set of problems than probably what we were earlier doing.
All right. And coming to the sales process, right? When you started out, you were completely marketing led, and that got you the initial traction in the Indian market. And today you have an outbound sales team, right? So, and in between you had the whole Middle Eastern market. Like you said, you were there was no Zoom, but you were somehow like doing the demos, right? How is that journey kind of panned out, and where are you today with respect to your sales process?
Yeah, so I think, as I told before, so yeah, this whole sales process is, every point in time it is a new learning, and the sales process is also evolved, based on that. And as a founder, we'll always have something, something will ring, and we'll start doing that. So that's what happened with us also. So initial India market, we didn't do anything. We were just bombarded with a small ad. We'll get bombarded with so many leads that will get crazy, and we have to ask Rohit, okay, stop the ad here. We can't handle. So so that was, different problem to have. And those people, I mean, very small businesses, they will not be paying anything, whatever we are expecting. So it's a waste of time, even if getting so many leads, but if they are not qualified, so
Right.
it's a unnecessary time waste. So yeah, I mean, initial India thing was very marketing led, and whenever we want to get lead, we can, just start something and people will start approaching us. But then, definitely the shift, when we moved to Middle East market, the initial 6 months we did very hard. We opted for very hard way of selling. Like, we did field sales, me and
Mhm.
Rohit, or sometimes Ashish will go knock each and every door, show our product, and people will like it.
Yeah.
In a month, or in a, maybe in a week or 10 days, we were used to generate maybe 60-70 leads. We were used to do
Wow.
maybe 2 or 3 conversions we were used to do
Yeah.
on the field. So that 6 months was more of learning for us also, like, what is this market, how these people live, what are their pain points, what do
Right.
they do day to day basis. So that was the conscious decision which we took, even though no SaaS company will do this kind of a thing. But that 6 months we did, and we are still reaping those results, because that insight what we got in terms of, pain points, and building the product right way, making it fit for a specific geography. So we could do that pretty fast after that. Otherwise, that would have taken more time. So that field
Right.
sales, and then after that we started doing our, inbound sales, because our customers only guided us, okay, this is the channel where they are. And they only guided us, why don't you use this channel and, do more sales. And then a lot of references and those kind of things happened.
So
So
our biggest channel was Instagram actually at
yeah,
that
that
time.
point. And
Instagram.
Yeah.
yeah, that too, our customers only told that, we change our stories every 4 hours. If you
Yeah.
want, we can put your videos in our Instagram, which will reach to all the workshops.
Yeah.
So a lot of these
Right.
kind of things happened, and we started getting a lot of leads, and we started doing a lot of conversions, and this whole inbound, sales engine started evolving and started working.
Mhm.
So, and then the moment we moved from this global SMB to the different segment altogether, enterprise, now it doesn't work like that. There has to be a clear cut, right set of people whom you are going to, talk to. There has to be influencer, decision maker, so many departments, and 10,000 people will evaluate, and so
Right.
many security assessment will happen. So the whole approach is different. So now uh, our sales process is now very much outbound led. Like, there is no inbound approach, it is completely outbound, and there is a separate sales team who is doing complete outbound outreach. And there is a
Right.
LDR, SDR, AE kind of a layer which we have built the entire sales process. And touchwood, it is working pretty well, because we are able to generate a huge pipeline, because of, I mean, by building this process, and finding the right channel where we find these people. And we are able to do conversations. So every day we are able to do at least 2 or 3 conversations.
Right.
So far it is working well, but definitely going forward, I don't know, maybe we'll get into again inbound, but right now we are more outbound, outbound approach we are taking. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do remember you mentioning earlier that your next challenge will be to crack inbound. So are you doing anything on that right now?
Yeah, so not really. Right now, we have not done anything. We are, I mean, because we are getting good results from outreach.
Right.
And one of the reason for that is we have huge network now. And Ashish, coming from automotive background, he has a huge network. Rohit is
Right.
in this automotive industry for now long time, he has good network. And now I have also built a good network. And our even SMB customers, they are giving us leads for the enterprise segment.
Enterprise.
So
Wow.
somehow we are fully occupied with this outbound process itself, and making it, refining to next level.
Right.
So we have not thought like how we are going to get into this whole inbound thing, but
So
definitely
word of
down
mouth is
the line.
happening. But
Yeah, word of
Okay.
mouth is happening. Yeah, 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 we are getting a lot of referral leads. Yeah.
Right. So I think like coming to the product now, again, huge changes must have almost gone through an overhaul, right? How did you make your product enterprise ready, and what does it do today?
yeah. So so basically, from as you know, the problem set changed, right? So and also the segment changed. So now we are not
Right.
talking about independent garages or something. We are talking about outlet chains who have tens or twenties or hundreds of different outlets running at one go and having the combined analytics. So the product went through a major architectural change, of course, which was required to make it enterprise ready, and even a lot of security, privacy, and other concerns, which most of these enterprise would have. So incorporating all those things in place, and we are also undergoing right now ISO SOC 2 kind of compliances and other things. Apart from these, definitely from the overall offering perspective, it's no more just the workshop management solution. It's a complete suite of things where the entire customer journey gets integrated in a single platform. So just to give you an example, with one of our oil and lube outlets in KSA. So there it's more of a self checkout process. The customer comes in, he goes, and he would have a ATM kind of a kiosk where he would do, okay, I want tuck 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 these services. He presses okay, it goes to the bay where the service needs to be done, and he's waiting in the customer lounge where he has a big TV screen like airport lounge. You have all the statuses being rolling for him, and in the back end at the workshop level, they are doing entire things, and the customer is being updated and informed with every set of things on his WhatsApp straight away. So the entire journey for the customer is built with different small things, but everything connected in the same platform, right? So
Right.
this has changed a lot in our product to have the entire whole kind of a picture. And now this is one of the thing for enterprise customer journey. The other thing is more of these enterprise would require more controls, right? They would require some kind of head office interfaces for having more control, having right set of analytics, and probably we are also now trying to come up with some kind of recommendations and other things to give them more analytics which will help them to take more informed decisions. So apart from the workshop management angle, the entire journey for an enterprise, right from the customer coming in and going out and having the brand presence and image in their mind, everything is covered in our platform now. So
All right. And with going enterprise also has opened up new geographies for you, right? So South America, North America, and probably Europe. These are markets you were not looking at. You're probably not expecting those markets to open up for you. But I think with these enterprises, those outlets are coming under your purview. What is that like? And what is how does it pan out in terms of strategy or maybe compliances or integrations and things like that?
yes, like so to be honest, if you ask me, every geo is like 0 1 typically. So every new geo you start with 0 and then you go 1. But the kind of and apart from the compliances, they would have their own set of challenges. For example, in KSA you have e-invoicing linked with their authorities. In Mexico you have different set of e-invoices, you have different set of compliances. So these are some of the challenges, definitely from the product perspective, which we are evolving. We are trying to make some kind of interfaces or some kind of integrated integration layers where we can easily plug and play some local solutions which can solve some of these problems directly. But in terms of our growth, if you ask us, the idea is more towards land and expand. The kind of enterprises we are working with, let's say we start with Singapore with one of the oil and lube giant, and now they have their network outlets in another 10 countries, right? So making one country successful helps us to expand in other countries. And so this actually helps us opening more doors. I think Shubhra, you want to just add upon some of the Mexico and other regions we
Yeah,
are.
so these are the things. However, one of the thing is, if you see at the ground level, the kind of best practices we have implemented in the system, the kind of layers. So maybe 70% of the thing remains same, and it
Right.
is just the 30% where we have to do a little bit here and there. And good thing is we have designed the entire architecture in a way where it is multilingual. If you want tomorrow, if you want, I want to add Thai language, it is just
Mhm.
1 day of effort for us. so
Right.
so so that is the way we have designed this product to suit multi geography things, in terms of compliances, in terms of language, even in terms of working practices. Also, we have made everything modular. So if you want to plug
Okay.
out one module and plug in another module which is more useful in one of the geography as a best practice or standard, it is possible. So all these things are, which are, the ground is ready now. We have to just expand one by one. And definitely there is work required, and initial customers, we have to spend a lot of time to make them successful, and then the replication will happen.
And even now still it's the single code base which is running for everyone. It's a single product running for entire countries. uh, this also helps us to make it more maintainable kind of systems for us.
Right. And I think the biggest one would be pricing, right? How is pricing evolved and your own perception about how you price the product and the services that you're offering?
So it's a never ending question. So yeah, so our starting thing, what we did, the pricing, we had no idea. We just did some pricing which was more on the higher side. And definitely we were beaten up by competition, and we were not ready to reduce it because we knew it is a premium product. And now getting into enterprise, it's very custom pricing. It's all. And we have also made it in a way where it's following the simple formula, that same cost plus and value minus, where it's the entire thing in modular, and is modular, and there is a base price, and then as you top up things, there is a price calculator kind of a thing, where as you top up things, the pricing will be calculated accordingly. And
Mhm.
definitely there are now other factors where a lot of, if there is a custom layer development or customizations which will increase your let's say maintenance, your one time development, all that. So those things are part of the very, those are very custom things which are part of the commercial proposal client by client basis. So there is no fixed pricing. However, there are few things which are fixed, but there are a lot of variables now in pricing. And when we are getting into more enterprise kind of a deals, our own operating cost is very high, uh, because of a huge network, and making them successful is not so easy. We have to have a lot of people on standby, supporting them all the time, doing small changes here and there. So now we are following some kind of a structure where there is a bare minimum fees they have to pay every month, to make them successful. And then there is a subscription on top of that, and there are custom things. So it's all coming together. Every enterprise is priced accordingly. Yeah.
And what was the response to the pricing and these various other add-ons that you were kind of adding? Was it easy to sell that, or did you find some friction there initially?
See, always there is some negotiation, but what we end up doing is, sometimes if the network is huge, we end up doing some kind of a tiered pricing if there are budget constraints. However, we don't compromise on price, because people are seeing the value, and it's not so high which we are charging. So so definitely, sales is not easy. There are multiple negotiation rounds which keep happening, a lot of stakeholders keep coming, but ultimately, product is what which wins. So ultimately, people come back to, oh, I need this only, you do something. So, and then we end up doing some negotiations, or some discounts for the first year, and then cover up in the coming year, or charge something minimum for the first year, and then as they keep increasing, outlets, then the discount will increase, so something like that. So different models we apply. Yeah.
Got it. And when you moved to enterprise again, you had to churn out a lot of your SMB and your mid-market accounts, right? What was the impact on the revenue when you did that? And where is now your revenue growth coming from?
Yeah. So we had to churn some of the SMB because of the simple reason, now the product is evolving more into enterprise direction. Okay. And we can't take up a lot of requirements which are not suitable for the segment we are targeting. So that way, we took this kind of a conscious call. Okay, we can't. So or the customers who are not literally not paying anything. So we can't support them anymore. So that was a conscious decision we took, where we had to churn some of the customers, and now our maybe 85% of the revenue is coming from global. And in that also, like, enterprise is something is adding majority part to the revenue as we are moving forward, as we are signing the contracts. Yeah.
And how is land and expand working there with enterprise?
Yeah, so land and expand is working beautifully. We have to learn more. you know but good thing is, the kind of industry we are targeting, there is always international level initiatives, where people take decision at the international level, and then there is a recommendation always at the regional level. So and our land and expand is working well, because on the land thing we invest a lot of effort, even if it's a little bit lost for us sometimes, where we're spending so much of time, money, resources. But if we are able to make that successful, it is pretty easy, because the results are in front of people. They can always go visit, see, it's working, there are recommendations coming, so expand becomes easy. So we are seeing good signals so far. However, it is a journey. Every now and then different challenges keep coming.
Right. And now, if you were to look at some of the mistakes that you've made, right, and the learnings from there, what would those be?
Okay, so Rohit, you want to add?
Sure. So, um, so basically, when we changed our ICP, right? So our pricing and other things kept on changing, and we were also completely, learning around it, right? For our SMB customers, all the support, everything was free. Everything, we were always available 24/7 for everything, right? We didn't know the concept of the premium enterprise support needs to be charged. It cannot go for free. supporting these enterprise would require much more effort. So sometimes we didn't charge them anything. Integration, sometimes we underestimated a lot, and end up doing a lot of things for free, just to make them successful in the initial stages. So some of these learnings were there. Even in terms of contracts, I think our initial contracts, if we look at now with some of the folks in the beginning, I think we will only laugh at it and we'll say why we didn't add these terms and conditions, because when you are dealing with enterprise, it's not like SMB. It's really for long term. It's really for a lot of things. You will have a lot of expansion opportunities there, right? And the other things, in terms of learning, um, when we were dealing with, let's say, SMB customers who are, probably set of folks running a workshop, and then they plan, okay, they will expand to another workshop in another 6 months. They tend to do that, right? With enterprise, if we started believing the same with enterprise, if they say that we'll roll out for 20 outlets now, and then another 20 after 6 months, so the 6 month is now 6 months. It's no more the same. So we we projected those revenues sometimes, and then we realized, oh, it's been a year now. So so these are some of the learnings which we are still getting it, and learning, and evolving our contracts, evolving our strategy and other things. Maybe Shubhra, you want to add something
Yeah,
around
so
this?
one great learning is giving things for free, not charging, taking the hit, reducing the motivation. I think it's not good for anybody. Like, not
Yes.
good for us also, not good. And what I've seen is people in big enterprises, they understand this.
Right.
We were a little bit taking back step, and we were a little bit scared maybe for the initial deals, and we took the hit. But if you be open and talk to them logical, I think people accept these things, and it is for win-win only. So I think being more open, more transparent, talking very clearly to people, I think this is one of the learning which now we are I mean, we are very clear that we have to be very transparent in these terms. Like, we shouldn't take this kind of a hit. Yeah.
Right. And so now with the learnings that you have now, right, 5 years down the line, if you were to go back to the starting line and start building all over again, what would you do differently?
Everything.
Build the build the product for US market, US enterprise as a first step.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I mean,
whatever we
Right.
have
everything,
evolved.
we'll look at the ICPs and everything in a different way,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, the whole
Yeah.
ICP, I think the ICP thing, it comes back to the ICP, the value, the ACV, these things to be well thought. And maybe we are learning and doing, but we've done
Would
those
you say
things
you
maybe.
should have invested more time at the ICP level initially?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have saved 2 years
rather
or
than
something.
rather than yeah, learn the whole year doing the same thing, doing things and then learning, then hitting the bottleneck. I think if this whole ICP thing would have done, and even things like Wardley map, do for multiple ICPs and then see what you are getting out of that. So we took
Right.
these things very lightly, to be honest, like, because we were in our own firefighting.
Can
So
you talk a
yeah.
little bit about the Wardley Maps process for those of us who are not aware of it?
So Wardley map is I don't know, like, there is a template kind of a thing where you define the various elements of your product. Either they are commodity, or they are next generation solution, or they are custom made, or they are off the shelf product, and where these things lie in the value chain. Is it giving the higher value or lower value or
Right.
medium value? So you plot everything, and then you see, okay, what are the things which are up in the value chain.
Yeah.
So if
It
something
helps
is
you
up in,
find, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, if something is up in the value chain, somebody will be paying you more. So
Right.
so to figure out the high value problem, basically,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
you do this whole Wardley map exercise. And if you do it for multiple segments, in terms of ICP, then you can easily see, oh, this segment is going to give me more. Okay, and this segment is going to get maximum benefit. So
Right.
yeah, if these things are done very seriously, after taking lot of time, and then things will become clear early.
Right. And there was a question I'd asked you earlier, and I think it's worth asking again, right? What does it mean for both of you as founders to be growing with control?
Okay, maybe Rohit, you want to add?
Well, like it all depends on. So I mean, so we are currently growing like probably what we were at a year back. We are almost more than double now, and sometimes as founders, you do feel when you start delegating some of the things, you feel that I should have kept the control. But when you're growing, I think this is something every founder they need to learn. Even I'm learning. We we all are learning on this, that how we still keep the control, but still start delegating, start having more people in the team when we are growing with a lot of different directions, from product, from support, from even things like defining processes. Because right now, if you ask me, on top of my head is ISO processes, which we are currently defining, right? So having these set of processes really help you keeping the control and still expand the different the things which you do, right? Your day-to-day activities which you're doing, how you're expanding further, how your team is growing further, how you are segregating. Earlier we used to have a common stand-ups, right? Now we are having stand-ups based on the departments. So delegating the different controls and still keeping track of a high level overview is something which needs to be learned. We are still learning. Maybe Shubhra, you want to add
Yeah.
on something there?
And in terms of, if you are asking, being in control as a founder, yeah,
Yeah,
so definitely that is the biggest thing, I would say. If why we have come into this journey, we want to be our own boss. Okay.
right,
Want to do things, without limits. So yeah, so that's the main thing, like, being in control and then doing things, that is what we enjoy right now. And if
right,
somebody sits on top of our head and tells do this, do that, and we don't agree, then again, we are back to, as if, you are doing job for somebody. So
right.
yeah.
So how does value SaaS and capital efficiency play into that?
Yeah, so definitely it's all about value SaaS and being capital efficient. So I mean, you really see that, happening. So I mean, I have told maybe multiple times that, after joining Upekkha only, this whole value SaaS concept came into picture. And it's so beautiful concept. It's such a simple thing, but if you don't do that, then you're nowhere. So yeah, it's playing a big role here, and that's where we are seeing, the whole growth, moving, step by step, and now getting into these bigger elephant size tickets. It's all value game only. There are thousands of players. Why we? So something we
Right,
are doing differently.
So I
right,
mean, we use value based concepts not only for pricing and other things. We even use it for product development, product roadmap, pretty much everything.
right,
ROE and ROI, these concepts, what we have learned are like brilliant to even define uh, how we should do differently in product. What, before writing any single line of code, we evaluate whether does it provide us right ROE and ROI or not. So
right. All right, great. That brings us to the end of the questions. But we have questions open to the audience. If you have a question, can you please put it in the comments and we can answer that? Questions for Shubhra or Rohit? Okay, so we have a question from Praveen Yadav, and he's asking, just wanted to know why we keep hearing build for US or Europe from almost all SaaS builders from India. What are the issues with Indian market? That's a good one.
Okay, so I mean, it's our journey. There are companies who are successful in India, so I think I would not say that you should not build for India. But we have seen this struggle here, in India market, where maybe when we started, the SaaS concept itself, people want, free of cost. Software means, why I have to pay for this, or I can do it manually. So this whole concept did not work pretty well. However, yeah, I'm talking about India SMB, but yeah, if I have to say, enterprise SaaS, we have enterprise customers in India, and they are giving us good business. So yeah, when it comes to enterprise, then definitely, India is also a good market. So yeah, not to be biased, this is our story. Every story is different.
Yeah, but I mean, in one line, if you ask me, earning $1 is always easier than earning a rupee. So,
So it is hard.
so yeah.
Can you share any experiences there without probably naming names? Where you found that earning $1 was easier than earning a rupee?
See,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
yeah,
Rohit, you can
yeah.
tell.
No, Shubhra, you explain it. Yeah.
No, see, I mean, what we have seen, the I mean, in India, even small business, if we have delivered our product. I mean, there are definitely very good customers also, but we have come across some cases where even if they are not paying anything, like it's very little, but the kind of support they are expecting, it's huge. As if they have bought us, and we have to do each and everything for them, and they don't like if we ask, okay, you have to pay money for this. We are spending resources. You are using something, you're getting value. So it was too hard to make some people understand this whole thing. And this kind of a challenge we have not seen in the global market. Yeah.
Right. All right. Thanks, Praveen. Hope that answers your question. Do we have any more questions? All right, I think we'll wrap it here. Shubhra and Rohit, thank you. Great insights, I'm sure valuable to founders out there who are watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Malvika.
Malvika.
And all
Thank
the
you. Bye.
best on your next big journey, right? Which you just started.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
And special thanks to my colleague Yusuf for moderating this. And
Yeah. Thanks.
thanks.
Thanks, Yusuf.
Oh, I think we have another question from Vivek Narang. I think we'll take that up. How did you come up with the ACV?
Yeah. So I think I have answered this before. How do we price, and how this whole contract value is decided. So because we are giving a lot of values for different stakeholders, we have divided the whole our offerings into different modules, different pockets, I would say. And there is a base, and then there are a lot of things around that, like, so based on the segment, based on the customer, whatever they want, they can choose, and that makes the pricing. However, there are other elements like customizations or custom modules which are only made for them. They will be built, and you have to charge premium for that, because that is not something you are giving to others. So it is very custom built, custom made. It is not a standard price which we have followed. It's basically whatever value we are giving, we are charging for that.
Thanks, Shubhra. We'll wait for another few seconds to see if there are more questions, and then we can wrap. All right, I think we'll wrap this here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rohit.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone,
Bye,
for
everyone.
watching.
Bye.
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 Bye.